A very good evening, history enthusiasts. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, and I now request our honorary president, Srinandan Shastri sir, to welcome the virtual gathering. So you are on
Sir,
mute.
Dear fellow members of the History Enthusiast group, including Dr. Mani, he is also in our group, and others who are present today. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome Dr. B.R. Mani, who is going to expand today our knowledge on Sārnāth excavation. He discovered uh, a significant Gupta period image of Hariti from Sārnāth excavation. I welcome the founder president Manali Momaya and vice president Nidhi Katti and all the scholars and students who are attending in the and are in the audience. Welcome everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. I now request Ms. Nidhi Katti, founder vice president of the History Enthusiasts, to introduce our today's resource person.
thank you, Manali. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Professor Dr. Buddha Rashmi Mani sir has over 4 decades of experience in administration, research, and teaching in public service. He has also worked at the Archaeological Survey of India and National Museum for 34 years before retiring as the Director General, National Museum, and Vice Chancellor, National Museum Institute. Sir has also directed excavation at 20 archaeological sites, including the significant Ayodhya excavations, monitored and development of 44 ASI site museums, and have conserved a large number of monuments in various parts of the country and, of course, abroad. He is also passionate about teaching and developing talent in the field of archaeology, mainly field archaeology, epigraphy, and numismatics. He has taught for 8 years full time at universities such as BHU, Varanasi, Sihai HTS, Sarnath, and National Museum Institute, New Delhi. In addition to this, he was also at ASI and took initiative to teach courses at the Institute of Archaeology for around 3 decades. He has guided 8 research scholars who have been awarded PhD degrees under Mani Sir's supervision and also co-supervision at the University of Lucknow, Deccan College, Pune, and National Museum Institute, New Delhi. He is a gold medalist from Banaras University and always was first class throughout his educational career. And he has worked in many positions at ASI India. Sir completed his PhD from Banaras Hindu University in 1980, and the subject was related to life in the Kushana age. He also has a diploma in Tibetan studies, which he completed from Sanskrit University, Varanasi. Uh, he majorly was interested in field work archaeology and has got lot of experience in museology too. So he has participated in more than 27 national, international conferences, workshops, seminars. He has done a pretty good work in the conservation of monuments. I would like to mention some of them here. Um, he worked in Aurangabad Circle, for conservation of world famous monuments of Ajanta, Ellora, Elephanta, and churches of Goa. And from 1984 to 1987, he did this. After joining the Delhi Circle of ASI, he conserved nearly 40 monuments of Delhi from 1988 to 1995, during this period, Qutub Minar and Humayun Stone were also declared as World Heritage Monuments under UNESCO. He also organized many functions of 50th anniversary of Quit India movement in Red Fort in August 1992. He has edited 4 volumes of Puratattva as its joint editor and worked as honorary guide professor in the National Museum Institute, and organized a number of photo exhibitions in Delhi and Jammu Kashmir, mostly during celebrations of World Heritage Day and World Heritage Week. As one of the members of expert group, we formed by Ministry of Urban Development for the development of city of Delhi. As representative of ASI, attended all its meetings and deliberations, conserved nearly 20 monuments in Ladakh, Jammu, Kashmir regions from 1998 to 2001. And during the posting in Jammu and Kashmir, he won the state championship in badminton for the ASI organized by CGEWCC. This showcases his interest towards physical fitness too, and that too for continuously 2 years he won this championship. And he was regularly involved in teaching about numismatics and other subjects for postgraduate diploma in archaeology in the Institute of Archaeology, New Delhi. He's very much interested in sports, which is visible through his championship. He has written a book titled as Art of Aknur and Rock Carvings and Engravings in Ladakh are some of the important publications. He has published more than around the list is huge. More than 197 papers he has published. So it's a inspiration for youngsters to get into the research, and we are very much blessed to have you on the platform of the history enthusiast, sir. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation. It was a pleasure to introduce you today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nidhi. And I'm grateful to the organizers of this e-lecture series, which is called the Tathāgata, celebrating Buddha Purnima, organized by the History Enthusiast group. And I must thank Professor Nandan Shastri, Miss Manali Mamaya, and Nidhi Katti. Let me just mention about my excavations at Sārnāth. I'll just start the slides. So give me just 1 second. I call it recent excavations at Sārnāth. This is in fact, I call it because Sarnath has been excavated for more than 200 years. The earliest one started in 1815 by Colonel Mackenzie, and then followed by many of the archaeological explorers and officers of the Archaeological Survey of India from time to time. And the last excavation was undertaken by me uh, in 2013-14 when I was Additional Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India. This map shows the location of Sārnāth, which is located near the Ganges towards its north and in the district of Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. This is a Google map of Sārnāth site. The important landmarks at Sārnāth are the Dhamek Stupa, which is 108 feet in height, and there used to be another very large stupa at the site, which was known as Dharmarajik Stupa. And Dharmarajik Stupa, when we say Dharmarajik, it means the stupa by Dharmaraj. And Dharmaraj was no one else than Emperor Ashok. So Emperor Ashok built this stupa and enshrined the relics of Buddha inside, which was not found because it was damaged, the entire stupa was damaged, and one of the divans of Maharaja of Kashi, he got the remains and then he threw them in river Ganges because he could understand that there are some bone relics, but he was not sure why these relics are there. Apart from these two stupas, there is another stupa which is about a kilometer away from the main site, which is at present called Chaukhandi, and there is an inscription of Akbar who commemorates that this place is the place where Humayun stayed when he was defeated in the Battle of Chausa. He stayed there for one night. And Hindi author and poet Jaishankar Prasad has also written a story on that, which is known as Mamta. Besides these three stupas, there are the main shrine and number of 8 monasteries all around. So this is in brief about site, and we all know that on the occasion of Buddha Purnima, Lord Buddha preached his first sermon at Sārnāth, which was known at that time as Mrigadav or Mrigdaya in ancient days. And the event which took place when he gave the first sermon, it is known as Dhamma Chakra Pravartan or Dharma Chakra Pravartan. So Buddha gave the first sermon to those 5 disciples who had left him at Bodh Gaya, and he came to Sārnāth in search of them. Sārnāth was like a hermitage where the rishis they used to stay, and that is why it was also known as Rishipatan. And Sārnāth is also famous because of this first sermon being the first Buddhist sung which was founded at the site. So it has got that importance in the Buddhist world, and it is one of the four important centers of pilgrimage for the Buddhists. The site of Sārnāth had been excavated from the time of Colonel Mackenzie and others. It was excavated by Alexander Cunningham also, and this is a photograph which was taken sometimes in 1900 or 1902 and which appeared in the Archaeological Survey of India annual report of 1902. And then, as I was mentioning, the site was excavated by some of the colleagues of Cunningham, including Markham Kitto and Sir John Marshall came later. But after Cunningham, around 1905, during the regime as Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India, John Marshall initiated excavations at Sārnāth, and in his times, F.O. Ortel excavated some of the very important remains at the site, including the famous lion capital and the pillar of in which Ashoka had given his edict. So besides that, a large number of sculptures, they were located, and this is a photograph, a very rare photograph, now quite popular. It has been taken when the land capital was discovered, and it was there at the site itself. And this is part of the pillar. There are 5 parts lying over there. Fortunately, the inscription is intact. Then in 1914-15, H. Hargreaves excavated area around the main shrine, and later the Ram Sahni excavated the site in 1921-22. These are the photographs of those days, and this is a recent photograph which shows a semicircle which is the part of the apsidal Chaitya or Chaitya-griha which was found there and which was supposed to be pre-Shunga or Shunga period structure. The initiation of the excavations in 2013-14 was taken up because of certain important reasons. The first one, that all the scholars who had worked at Sarnath, all the archaeologists, they say that the site was developed during the time of Ashok, and nothing before Ashok has been found. So the question was, what happened after the Mahaparinirvana of Buddha in the 5th century BCE till Emperor Ashok came to power in the 3rd century BCE. So in between, what happened? What was the position of the site? Whether there was any human activity or not. So these questions were in my mind, and with the entire site had been excavated quite largely, but still there was some space which I could get, and then I could find some new evidences and got certain dates from the charcoal samples collected, and we got the dates from different laboratories, including one in Florida, the Beta Inc. So this particular slide has got certain features of the site where the excavations took place. Near the apsidal Chaitya, we could date the Chaitya also, and while it just faces the Ashokan pillar, which was found from this place, and what was the reason of having this particular pillar with edict which Ashoka installed. And then we also found in a dump belonging to Gupta period a large number of sculptures which were damaged, and they were not damaged purposely. They were damaged while they were being prepared. So we could locate the workshop of Sārnāth School of Sculptures of Gupta period. The school is very famous as a school of art, and we could locate the spot from where it developed, and during the Gupta period how the sculptures were made. This is the plan of the Sarnath site, and we have 4 different areas which we divided into A, B, C, and D in the area in order to understand, as per our objective, what is the antiquity of the site. In spite of 200 years of archaeological investigations, nothing, no stratification, no cultural sequence have been ever published. So that was our secondary objective, to do that also. And then this is the place where we excavated first, near the apsidal Chaitya, and in the trenches we found the foundation of the Chaitya, and lower courses, 3 lower courses were of the original bricks, and over these 3 courses, 3 more courses were added later on, most probably by the conservators who were preserving the site. of the structure. So we could excavate this site up to the natural soil, and this particular trench gave very interesting result of its through which we can date the site. The antiquity of the site we can establish. And this is these are the two dates, particularly in relation to the two aspects which I mentioned. One, that what was the earliest evidence of human activity at Sārnāth, particularly after the Mahaparinirvana of Buddha and before the coming up of the rule of Emperor Ashoka. And interestingly, we found the charcoal remains from here, which from the earliest levels above the natural soil. It belongs to 385 BCE. And 385 BCE is more than 100 years before the coming up of the rule of Emperor Ashoka. So it refutes the idea or the saying that nothing before Ashoka had come up at Sārnāth. So 385 BCE is the known scientific date, earliest scientific date of Sārnāth. Then the next picture shows that the site, this sample was from near the dump area of the sculpture, and it gives a date of 340 AD or CE. That suggests the peak of the Gupta period, not 340, I think it is 430 CE, 430 CE. And that was the period when Sārnath was flourishing as a Gupta school of art. And those dump sculptures which are damaged while preparing, while making of them in the workshop. So this particular date confirms that particular evidence. As I was mentioning that there was no sectional drawing of the site. We excavated the northern area of the site, and there we found the remains of different periods, starting above the natural soil, because modern level was not located in this section, but Shunga level is there with structural activities and structural and other activities and habitational deposits of different periods have recorded. So starting from say about 200 BCE up till about 1150 CE, we have this important section which gives an idea of the entire habitational deposit of the site. One interesting aspect is that there is a circular stoop which is located on the northern side of the main shrine. We call it main shrine because that name was given by the excavators earlier, and it is still continuing. Of course, we had a trench inside the main shrine also, and we could know from excavations that it starts only from the Gupta period, not earlier. But to its north, we have this circular structure. This one, this is the close-up of that. And we tried to know that since the bricks are of earlier period, it's in the lower strata. So let us examine this particular structure, which is known as Shunga structure, particularly because some railing pillars had been found belonging to the Shunga period or first century BCE. And then we excavated inside this circular stupa. We also excavated outside, and we found the remains of bricks which are 48 to 52 centimeters in length. And that clearly shows that these are the Mauryan bricks. And there was a structure. The nature of the structure is not known. It might have been a circular structure, it might have been an apsidal structure. But over this, another structure was constructed during the Shunga period, and this particular circular structure definitely belongs to the Shunga period or second century BCE, but it overlies the earlier structure, which is again definitely a Mauryan structure. So this was in the northern area of the site. So wherever we consulted the maps and earlier drawings, and we found that probably that particular area was left, and it has certain values for excavations. We excavated certain potentials for excavations. We excavated those areas. This is the site from where these in the northern area where we found these about 40 pieces of stone sculptures, all belonging to the Gupta level, to say 4th, 5th century. And I'll show you some of the slides where you can see the typical Gupta features on those sculptures, and it was found somewhere here. It was a dump of Gupta period, below which is the Kushan period, and further below downwards is the Shunga period, and there is nothing of modern period in this particular trench. Now, on the basis of the evidence from our excavations, we have divided the entire site. The cultural sequence is of 6 different periods. Period 1 is pre-Mauryan. Since we have got a particular date also of 380 BCE, So we can definitely assign this period as period 1A. That is, in the period 1, we have two phases, phase 1, phase 2. And phase 1 is pre-Mauryan and phase 2 is Mauryan, which is, say, 3rd century BCE to 2nd century BCE. Then there are regular periods. Period 2 is Shunga period, that is 2nd century BCE to 1st century BCE. Then Kushan period, which is 1st to 3rd century CE. Then Gupta period, 4th to 6th century CE. Then post-Gupta period, 6th century to 9th century CE, and then period 6, which is early medieval period, which terminates from 9th to 12th century CE. So this is the entire cultural sequence of the site. And as per tradition, we have to give the cultural sequence of a site, but nobody thought of it for 200 years of continued excavations. Another important feature I would like to draw your attention is this stupa, which is Dharmarajik stupa, and it has it was excavated only up to this level, where these three steps were exposed when it was excavated during the time of F.O. Orton, and nobody thought of going further down. And there was one inscription which was written on the top of this monolithic staircase, and that mentions the name of a ruler, Ashwaghosh. Nobody knew who was Ashwaghosh. On the pillar of Ashok, we have a very small inscription of one line. That also mentions King Ashwaghosh. And the script is of the 2nd century, late 2nd century or 3rd century CE. That means Ashwaghosh was a ruler who was ruling towards end of the 2nd century, and there was no rule of the Kushans at the site. This was further confirmed from the excavation of this particular trench to the south of this Dharmarajik stupa. Since it was exposed up to the 3rd staircase, we thought to further expose the entire area, the entire monolithic structure, and we found that there are 7 stairs in this. And then there is a brick Chandrashila all around from the spot where this staircase starts. Interestingly, we found that these remains of kuchis of the probable railing which used to be there around the Dharmarajik stupa. And another interesting feature which was found here on this part of the staircase was this particular inscription, which came for the first time to notice. And earlier, if they would have excavated third step downwards, they could have easily located this inscription. But it is heavily damaged, and the interesting feature is this, that it mentions Varsha Shat, which is quite clearly readable. Varsha Shat means, since all other dated things are supposed to have started in the Shak era of 78 CE or AD, then the exact date of this staircase can be confirmed as 178 CE. So in 178 CE, it gives an important historical fact that Ashwaghosh had started ruling over this area. Ashwaghosh is also mentioned in some inscriptions and coins from Kaushambi region in Allahabad district, and Kaushambi is now a separate district. So from it was the capital of Vatsu. So from Kaushambi to Sārnāth, this area was free from Kushans, and it was Ashwaghosh who was ruling over this area. We found a very large number of smaller pieces of Chunar sandstone, and some of them are painted with red color. And red color on the images of Buddha, they also signify the evidence of the Mathura art, because one image of donated by Bhikshu Bal belonging to the third regnal year of Kanishk has already been found there, and two images of the Kushan period, they had also been found in 1905 excavations, and those two images are not from Mathura, like Bhikshubal image, which came from Mathura and which is in red sandstone, but other two are in buff sandstone. But there are traces of red paint over them. That suggests that in order to give a validity to the sculptures, because Mathura was one of the earliest places where Buddha sculptures started, and to give the validity, the sculptures of Buddha, they were painted with red color. Now these are some of the sculptures which were found in the dump, and they are typical of the Sārnāth school of Gupta art. Mostly they are of Buddha in different postures, in Bhumisparsh Mudra or in Dharmchakravartan Mudra, or standing Buddha in Abhay Mudra. And interestingly, one sculpture where he is attended by Brahma and Indra on either side, and he is descending from the heaven, that shows the event when Buddha had gone to the heaven to teach for 3 months his mother, and then he descended. And he descended at a place called Sārnāth, which is known in Pali literature as Sankisa, which is another site which we had excavated earlier. Some other sculptures of the same uh, hoard of that particular dump. And then I was mentioning about the workshop, the evidence of sculpture workshop at the site. We have larger stone blocks with chisel marks. We have quite huge amount of debris where the different size of stone pieces are there. You can see from larger stone pieces to smaller ones and to very sand-like pieces, which can be possible only at a workshop where these uh, where the sculptures were made and these have come out. In pottery, we have found black slipped ware, grey ware, and very few shards of northern black polished ware. But black slipped ware is uh, quite in large number. And then we also have certain dishes, and in the center of the dish, we have the typical symbol of crescent on hill, which is normally found in the Panchmarga coins. So this is also found in the inner base of one of the black slipped ware dish. We have a large number of other stone artifacts, some saddle and quern, some other decorated elements in stone. Interestingly, one polished sandstone has been found on which there are three letters, Ta, Va, and Ha. So these three letters are in the typical Mauryan script, and the stone is also having the polish of Mauryan times. That shows that there was a huge debris in which the polished sandstones of Mauryan times have earlier been also found. There are features which are preserved in the site museum at Sārnāth, some animals, some bird pieces, and some inscriptions like this one belonging to the Mauryan times with clear Brahmi inscription of that period, some inscriptions of a little later date, and a very large number of such stone pieces which suggest that apart from the main pillar and the land capital, there were other edifices also belonging to the time of Ashoka, and the inscription having three letters Ta, Va, Ha probably suggests some Sattva who had come from some areas, like we know from somebody came from Ujjaini, and somebody also came from Patliputra. So they might have donated the to this uh, pilgrimage spot some edifice. So only three letters they suggest some name in the first line which is damaged, and va her most probably suggests the last part of the word Sarth va, which is a trader. So such type of stone pieces have been found, and this has got the inscription Ujjaini. That means somebody coming from Ujjaini or Ujjain. And mostly these inscriptions are in modern times. And then we have some decorated elements from the Kushan and Gupta period uh, in the bricks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the exceptionally engaging and informative presentation. It was really very, very informative. So we have not visited Sarnath, myself, Nidhi, but we felt like we were there and we are watching the excavation in process. And we have learned very much from this lecture, sir. So with your permission, can we take up a few questions?
Yes,
Yes, sir. So first of all, I have a question, sir. Uh, how how have the local communities been involved in the excavation process, and what role do they play in its preservation and interpretation?
you know, Sarnath is a centrally protected site, and it is also proposed to be in the tentative list of the sites of which UNESCO is considering it to be a part of the UNESCO's World Heritage List. So, besides the team of archaeologists who were working with me, uh, all the laborers, they are from the nearby villages, and they worked hard, and even after the excavations were over, they were providing uh, other post excavation help in getting the things photographed, getting the drawings completed, and such other works. So this is the participation of our people of nearby villages, and so far the preservation of the site is concerned. The site is well preserved. It's not uh, any site which is in some area which is not regularly visited by the tourists, but it is a very important site. It has got the earliest site museums of under ASI, which was established in 1910, and of course we have
Sorry for the interruption. I request all the audience to wait for a while. Our resource person will join soon.
Yes, let me just contact sir. Yes, sir had left the stream because of power cut. He is joining back in a while. Sorry for the delay. The resource person will be joining shortly. Let us wait for sir. Sir has rejoined. Let
Hmm.
me. Yes. Thank you for joining again, sir.
Thank you. There was some problem with the internet, and it was all of a sudden disconnected. So let
It's
us,
all right, sir.
let us come back to the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the answer for the previous question, sir.
Yeah,
Nandan sir has asked a question.
yeah.
Uh, did Akbar play a key role in the addition of the famous octagonal tower?
Yes, because the stoop over which the octagonal tower exists, the stoop was the earlier one, and it is believed that that is the place where, can you see me? That is the place,
Yes, sir, you're visible.
uh, yeah. So that is the place from where the five disciples who had left Buddha at Bodh Gaya, they were staying. And when Buddha came, they were not ready to accept him. But when he came closer, they all welcomed him. So that is the actual scoop. But when Akbar came, he built a commemorative tower, octagonal tower, and at the entrance of that octagonal tower, he put one Persian inscription which says that Akbar's father Humayun, when he was defeated at Battle of Chausa and he was going towards Iran. At that time, he stayed there for one night. So definitely that the construction was of the period of Akbar, and most probably on his orders only that octagonal tower was constructed.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I have another question.
Yes.
What are the next steps in the archaeological research at Sārnāth, and are there any specific areas or questions that can be the focus of the future excavations?
You see, the area which is archaeological area at Sārnāth, it has been excavated a very number of times for the last 200 years, as I mentioned in my paper. And very few space is available, very less amount of space where more excavations may take place. But so far as interpretation of the site is concerned, interpretation of different periods with their art and their material culture is it comes, there is much possibility that people can work over that.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Indeed, there is a lot of areas which we can still focus on. Manuel Joseph, sir, has written, Sir, could the Gupta period sculptures lying broken mentioned in the Puratattva be related to the Han invasion?
Actually, these sculptures which are damaged and found in the dump, I don't think that they were damaged. They were damaged in any attack. But I think that while they were being made, they were damaged and they were taken all collected together and dumped at one place. So this is not a result of any invasion, maybe Hun invasion or later Turk invasion, but it is it is damaged because of something went wrong in making the sculpture and then it was found not to be usable.
Thank you, sir. So my other question is, what were some of the major challenges that you encountered during the excavations at Sarnath, and how could you address them?
There was one challenge that some of the reports which they were not available. In fact, where Mackenzie was working in Sarnath, we don't know about that. Where others also worked, a number of other excavators, we don't know much about that. But whatever from 1902 to 1940 is available in the Indian Archaeological Survey of India annual reports. Based on that, we searched all the relevant volumes and we could locate what was found in at what depth, if possible, to know and that is how we selected the site for further excavations. So that was one of the challenges, otherwise there were no other challenges.
Thank you, sir. I think Nidhi has a question also. I request Nidhi to unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes. Sir, can we find any Vaishnava artifacts or any source regarding that in the Saranath uh, during excavation? Did you find anything?
Yes, there are certain images of Vishnu and other Vaishnava deities, but very few. Similarly, there are some stag images also. And the largest image of from Sārnāth is of the Gajantak, which is no less than 12 feet in height. And besides that, there are other sculptures of Shiva. But it all came up during the Gupta period onwards. That also shows that the Sarnath workshop was not only producing Buddhist sculptures, there are a couple of Jain sculptures also, but they were producing sculptures from other sects of Brahmanical cult.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So, if any of the other members of the audience have any questions, kindly post them in the comment section. Uh, and until then, I would like to read out some of the comments. We have Ravindra Kumar ji saying very informative lecture, and then we have people joining us from various parts of India. Swatantra Kumar Singh ji from Banaras Hindu University, uh, and Priyanka Chandra ji also from Banaras Hindu University. We also had Rajesh Kumar ji, who has written, सर का ज्ञानवर्धक व्याख्यान सुनने का अवसर मिला, and he has congratulated you, sir. Dr. Rajiv Nigam sir has joined us. Thank you for organizing a lecture by Dr. Mani, an authority on the subject. Thank you, Nigam sir, for joining. Sunanda Srivastav ma'am has written, good evening, sir, very informative lecture. And we have Sulekha Banerjee ma'am. Thank you, sir, for sharing such valuable information on Sārnāth. Neeru Mishra ji had joined us. Excellent talk. Dr. Vinay Kumar sir has also joined us. Thank you, sir, for such an informative lecture. Then now we have a question by Swatantra Singh ji. Sir, is the stone sculpture painted red by order of rulers or the artist's choice?
First of all, to all these comments, I am grateful to the scholars who have made their comments and kindly convey my regards to them. Now, so far as painting of the sculpture is concerned, since we are not sure whether it was artist's choice or not, but the red sandstone sculptures were popular in the society. That we know very well. And those red sandstone sculptures from Mathura, they were exported from Mathura to other centers like Shravasti or Kaushambi, and in that process, it came to Sārnāth also. When it came to Sārnāth in the third regnal year of Kanishka, it was not possible to bring sculptures always from Mathura. It was a tedious job. And that is why in the inscription on that sculpture, it is stated that the names of the two subsidiary rulers under the rule of Kanishk. They are also mentioned, Mahakshatras and Kshatras. So that means one was ruling from Mathura and one was the local Kshatra. So Kharpalan and Banaspar, these names uh, have come. Now the thing is that since always it was not possible to bring red sandstone sculptures, the sculptures were produced from Mathura Chunar sandstone, which is buff in color, and then to give it a validity, it was painted. And the evidence of painting on such sculptures can be seen very well.
Thank you very much, sir. I believe Nandan sir has another question. I request sir to kindly unmute yourself and please ask the question.
Sir, as a geologist, I would like to know that Sarnath or not. Because
I
if
could not
any
hear
major
you.
earthquake takes place in future,
I could not hear the
am I?
first part.
Your voice was inaudible in between, sir.
Is
Can you repeat
this
the question?
Can
is
you
the
repeat
seismic
it?
sustainability survey was done at Sārnāth site? As a geologist,
No,
I am very eager to know
no. To my
because in
knowledge,
future, if earthquake takes place, uh, it is a must, I believe.
it's all in ruins now. So even if further
Yeah.
earthquake takes place, it may remain as it is. Because only
All right.
problem with the Dharmic স্তূপ, which is quite intact and 108 feet in height. But I don't know
Hmm.
if geologists may know that whether they have studied about the intensity of earthquake if it is in that particular zone or not.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Uh, so we have come to the end of the session, as there are no more questions in the comment section. But I'm sure that many of the viewers will be joining us later on and watching the recorded version of the video. And if anybody has questions at that time, you can always post it in the comment section, and we will get your answers for you. So, sir, now I would like to ask you before moving on to the vote of thanks. Sir, is there any message you want to give young scholars like me, Nidhi, and those who are watching us?
It's quite interesting. What an archaeologist can give a message, we can also only say that, like a sportsman or a person from armed forces, one has to work hard in the field in order to get the result of it. So, to all the young archaeologists, I suggest that they should do their best in the field and they will definitely get the result.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We will indeed keep this in mind, and we will work hard, and we will try to get ourselves involved in the field work as much as possible. And we hope to also do something very significant in this field, like you have done with your inspiration. So now I would like to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the history enthusiasts, all the members of the core committee, and all our audience members. First of all, sir, I would like to thank you, Dr. B.R. Mani, sir, for sharing your profound knowledge with us today. Your expertise in the field is truly inspiring and has provided us with many invaluable insights. And your contributions to the study and preservation of Sarnath are commendable, and hoping to look have much more to learn from you in the future, and to get continuous insights from you. Thank you once again for the wonderful lecture. I also thank
My,
our honorary president, Sri Nandan Shastri sir, for being a yes, sir. Uh, yes, I also thank our honorary president, Sri Nandan Shastri sir, for being part of this lecture today and for welcoming the virtual gathering. I also thank my dear friend and founder vice president of the History Enthusiasts, Ms. Nidhi Katti, for co-hosting the session and for introducing our resource person. My heartfelt gratitude to all the members of the audience who have participated and actively asked questions and commented on this video, making up for a wonderful and insightful discussion at the end. Hoping to have the same level of enthusiasm in all our future lectures too. We will see you all very soon with something new, and therefore, if you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can get all the notifications of future lectures too. Thank you all very much.
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We are signing off here. Have a good week.
Thank you.